Boy, how time flies. The last time it was just you and I, Rhodesia. One of the best nights in the history of professional wrestling. Night 2
I
of
told
WrestleMania
I told you.
39.
I told you.
And we went in for about 13 minutes at the beginning of the pod talking about I told you, hitting bullet shots and air horns because Roman Reigns had just defeated Cody Rhodes. We were live in the building making fun of all the Cody crybabies, as they were now dubbed a year later. Now our tribal chief ain't nowhere to be seen. We got a new tribal chief.
Me.
Roman, where you at, man? Come back, dude. Come back to us, man. Rhodesia, what's up? We are doing, we know E is gone. He is out on a family vacation. Thoughts and prayers to him. He sent us a text earlier talking about he in 130-degree weather, standing in line at Universal and all that kind of good stuff. So shout out to you, E. Better man than me out there in that heat, riding Ferris wheels and whatever else you got going on. But
Ferris
we are
wheels,
here in the house.
I don't think there's a Ferris wheel there. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's a Ferris wheel.
You never know.
At Universal.
When's the last time you've been to Universal?
Don't know. A few years ago?
See?
Oh, before COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID. Mm-hmm. But we here. We are in the house. Episode 149 of the TFW podcast.
Hey, guess what?
I got a lot I want to talk about, man. I got a lot.
Look,
I thought about even like naming this like the women's podcast. I think everything I want to talk about is like women's business. Somehow.
Well, as long as we're not objectifying them, I'm good.
No. Do that on episode 150, not on 149.
I was trying to say, with 149, add 20, take away 100, what you got?
That's a lot just to get to 69. That's a lot. But I appreciate it. I damn sure appreciate it. I'm going to appreciate it tonight. Shout out to our freaks out there. Y'all know who y'all are, listeners, supporters of the pod. We appreciate you. We love you. This is the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. I say that every single week so you guys can spread the word. Tell a friend, tell a family member. You guys know what we do. Leave a thumbs up, comment, like, all that kind of stuff. Interact with us. It does help us. And I do want to shout out, and I don't even know who this is. I don't know if I know this person. So if I don't know you, we appreciate you. If I do know you, we appreciate you. Knight Rider 32 did leave us a review on Apple Podcasts just a couple days ago. Gave us them 5 stars I've been asking for. Shout out to you, Knight Rider. He said definitely best kept secret. He said this mob is the most common sense wrestling pod, and they are very relatable. Amazing content.
Thank you, Knight Rider.
Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who's listening. Leave those reviews. Even if you want to just shit on us and tell us like we're not doing a good job, you're a lie. You can still do that if you want to. And boom, we moved up 1 spot in Ghana. We are now the 25th wrestling podcast in Ghana. We also moved up 1 spot in Belgium. We are now number 50 in Belgium. America, come on, man. Step it up. Step it up. Eric already in the chat. He said we already starting with the freaky talk. Yeah. That wasn't, that was kind of just like
I'm a grown woman.
Like, yeah,
I'm a grown woman.
It was easy. It was easy and simple. But I do want to have a conversation. Before we get to conversation, let's shout out Rhea Ripley for being back.
Welcome back.
Being back, I am assuming as a 100% babyface from the way she is being presented. Mm-hmm. I also think that Damian Priest is now being presented as a potential soon to be, if not already, babyface.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't really have him be a heel and her be a baby, seeing they've been talking. Him telling Seth Rollins, which I can't wait to talk about. Woo. That segment with Seth and CM Punk.
Probably not more than me. Because you already know how I go. I told you.
But for him to say to Seth, like, hey, I'm taking back my word. When I get done with Gunther, it can be me and you again for the championship.
Which he won't, though. What you on?
I said that immediately, like, man, but you're not going to beat Gunther. And then, I started thinking.
What?
I was like, what if they have him beat Gunther? We can talk about that closer to SummerSlam. Just a thought I had. So shout out to that. But the question that I do have, and I put it out on X earlier, Twitter. If you're not following us, that's F&W. The best free money Twitter account can buy. I thought to myself, Rhea's back now. I've been holding on to this conversation for weeks. Liv Morgan is the best side chick I think I've ever seen outside some of the best historic side chicks we've seen in the world. Now, Rhodesia, we're going to have this conversation. And remember, when we are having this conversation, this has nothing to do with me personally. Okay? You are beautiful. I love you. There is nothing that I would ever do to compromise what you and I have, our relationship. Okay? So we are talking in generalities. All right? So no issues between you and I. You just remember that. If I say something, we chalk it up to just content. All right?
Okay. I'll allow it for a little bit.
I want to start by talking about the purpose of a side chick. And I want to start from a female's perspective.
But okay, go ahead.
So I'm asking you, Rhodesia, what is the purpose of a side chick, would you say?
I don't know, because I would never be a side chick. I am too high maintenance. I need too much attention to be somebody's second. If I ain't your number one, then I ain't none.
Ain't never said nothing about you.
Wait. For purposes of content,
perspective,
because we don't have the third person here to talk.
You ain't a wrestler. You talk about wrestling twice a week on the podcast.
Touché.
So you can speak on. Yes, you can speak on this conversation. What is the purpose of a side chick?
I will speculate, because real talk, I everything I just said is true. I'm pretty high maintenance. I have an ego problem, so I have to be your number one. If I had to say what would be the purpose, if I'm speculating, I would think that is for the woman to also get something out of it. So not necessarily what she's doing for the man, but what she can get from the man also without that commitment. So if I'm messing with old dude over here, he's going to throw me some money on the side, maybe, or he might be a good fuck, maybe. And I don't have to have that commitment to him. I don't have to worry about him cheating on me because he's with his wife. So I already know the only person he's messing with is me and his wife. So to me, I would think probably the purpose of a side chick from a woman's perspective is to kind of have somebody that she can have sex with, probably know that he's only fucking one other person, maybe get some gifts out of it, and don't have to have somebody bugging her all the damn time. So that's what I would think if I was a side chick. That's what I would want out of a guy. Money, my own space, and knowing that you're not messing with anybody else other than me and your wife.
So it sounds like maybe outside of the sexual activities, because damn, they were close on Monday, right in the middle.
Dry humping.
They were close.
Dry humping.
They were close.
Dry humping.
It sounds like Liv is what you are saying, your perspective of a side chick. I want to break this down for a minute, and then I'm going to ask the question that I really have about Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. So let's get this right. So from my perspective, when you were talking about a side chick, right? And if a man has ever had a side chick, typically that side chick brings a lot to the relationship. Even though a lot of times the main woman doesn't know. But if you ever need to go clear your head, if you want to just do something on the side, because maybe family life ain't what it should be at home, there's a lot that goes into it. I kind of want to break down what Liv Morgan has brought to Dominic Mysterio's life. Liv Morgan has bought him and his boys video games. Liv Morgan has gotten this man chicken nuggets. And if you follow him on Twitter, you know that's like his favorite food in the world. He loves his chicken nuggets. Liv Morgan has gotten his group, his boys, gold, the WWE Tag Team Championship. Liv Morgan has gotten Dominic Mysterio the first ever pinfall victory over his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio. He ain't never beat Rey before this past Monday. Liv Morgan has gotten Dominic Mysterio everything that he's ever wanted. Before Rhea Ripley went out, what has Rhea Ripley done for Dominic Mysterio, Rhodesia?
She's gotten him countless match opportunities. When I hear what you just said right there, the first thing that came to my mind was Beyonce's song, Ring the Alarm. And it's like, hold on, ring the alarm, ring the alarm. I'll be damned if I let you be gone because this have some other chick on your arm. I'm messing up the whole line because of everything, I did for you. Yes, like she built him up. I got with you when you was nothing, when you was super green, Ray's son. I brought you into Judgment Day. Well, actually, Edge did, but you get what I'm saying. I cultivated you in the Judgment Day. Now you, this big man looking like Ron Jeremy or Eddie Guerrero, and now you think you all big and bad now, and I'm going over here for a second to get myself good and healed, and you out here dry humping and embarrassing me in front of everybody? No, hell no. I don't think Liv, we know that there's probably a storytelling. Maybe she really doesn't like Dom. We'll see where that goes. But she is what I would imagine a side chick who doesn't want to really be a side chick. She's a woman who's trying to steal and snatch that man away from her man. I mean, from her woman, from his woman. So I don't call her a true definition of a side chick because she wants Dominic for herself. It's not just, hey, just call me whenever you need me, blah, blah, blah. She actually is trying to steal and do a snatch. But what did Jenny want to say?
So, I get that. Kind of, sort of. But I remember when it was Dom and Liv, and it was a lot of my Dom, right? A weak, soft nickname. Dom. I ain't never seen Rhea buy my man gifts. Definitely ain't never see her buy him dinner. Ain't bought no video games. I ain't never seen a hug or a kiss or anything like that. So really, what was Rhea doing for Dominic? Rhea gave Dominic a platform, yes. But let's not act like Rhea was into him, like she wanted to go out with him. She wanted to be with him. It was strictly business. It was Judgment Day business.
You don't know that. All them times she would whisper sweet nothings in his ear. It could be, tonight I'm going to tie you up. Tonight I'm going to tie you up and spank you. Every week when she would whisper in Dom's ear. Every week. Sometimes 2 times a week because they would go on both shows. She would whisper to him, hey, when you get home tonight, I'm going to tie you up and spank you real good or something like that. You don't know what they doing in their home.
I know what they doing on my TV every Monday. And I can see absolutely the one I would want. And that's Liv Morgan. So Rhea's back. She sees this incredible moment's about to happen in the ring. Dom's full off chicken nuggets. His boy's got championship belt. He finally beats his dad. He is overcome with joy and emotion. Liv Morgan's on top of him. And he about to finally do what he should have did weeks ago. We still don't know what happened with that hotel room key or what happened in that hotel room. And here come Rhea, hogging the spotlight again. She comes out, breaks up a happy home.
Hogging the spotlight. And she breaking up that happy home?
Breaking up a happy home. And that was when I really thought to myself, I already knew the answer.
What's that?
In my opinion, Rhea Ripley, as of right now today, which is July 10th, I think. Rhea Ripley's the heel. Dominic and Liv Morgan are the baby faces.
Stop.
Particularly Liv Morgan is a baby face.
Are we serious right now?
She's given this man more than he's ever had. How is she at the heel?
What are you talking about, Matt? Dominic held his own gold. Even if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he like the NXT North American champion for a long time? She helped secure that. Yeah, he was tag team champion for a long time. She helped all the ones. Liv has done nothing that we've seen other than buy him some chicken nuggets and video games for him and his boys. That's the only thing she's done different.
And helped him beat his father for the first time. The reason why he's the way he is because of his deadbeat dad. Rhea Ripley ain't never helped him beat Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, because Dom was a
Liv
loser.
Morgan
He was
did.
a sucker.
Liv
Again,
Morgan did.
so again, you get somebody and you put all your work into them and you build them up and you cultivate them to somebody who is confident. And then now you get somebody else who comes in the picture after they're confident. Sure, if they can move them up just a little bit more, it is going to look like it's a bigger result with them. But no, she was in the trenches with him. I'm telling you, she made him relevant. She would make sure that whenever they went out there, he got the heat. He still gets heat now, but she was the one who helped build Dom up. Sorry, flat out. So Dominic is a punk for that. So he's the heel. Liv's the ultra heel. I give Rhea a little bit of a heel because now she realizing that some other woman is taking better care of her man than she is. So then let's go. Let's come on. I'll come back.
As soon as everything is going right, you done seen another woman do what you can't do. Here you come back again.
But then that's not fair. So we about to bring this into a relationship. So if it's a relationship, just because somebody else is showing you more attention or more affection, they ain't with you at home. They ain't there cooking dinner for you. Ain't there washing your dirty ass laundry that might have skid marks in your underwear.
Whoa, who's
she ain't there with them? I'm just saying, that's
we dating teenagers. Like we got a conversation.
My point is, you ain't there at home with them. So of course that woman or that man, for whatever matter, the person who has a side piece on the side, they get the best of you. They get you who's excited to see somebody. They get to see only the good side of you because you do want to blow off steam. So you are amped and you are excited to be more than what you are at home. That person, you have to lay next to their stinky ass breath in the middle of the night when they rolling over snoring. That side piece ain't got to do that. So off rip, I should get a couple props for being able to be the person at home taking care of home. I should have the luxury of my partner telling me flat out, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this for me because homegirl over here is doing it for me. And allow me, and I'm going to say allow me, but give me that opportunity to try to do that. But also know that I am also still holding the house down. Unless side pieces is for everybody. Then bravo, and everybody, they all have their fun. As long as you keep it all safe and don't get emotions involved. It's just when you are lying. Huh?
The real four-way.
Yeah, be a fatal four-way.
So that is where we are now. So we can see where the story's going. We can see that Rhea is now upset. She's got to get it back after Liv Morgan. Dom's got some explaining to do. Now we're going to see how Dom really give it up. Dom was still on social media acting out of pocket. He was still out there liking photos of Liv Morgan and the one shot where I think he tripped and he fell in her crotch. I think he reposted that or he liked that photo. There's a lot going on right now. I think he's marking his territory for sure. But if we are bringing this to storylines and wrestling, I do think we are going to see Liv Morgan either in Judgment Day or when there is a team, she will be teaming with Judgment Day and going up against Rhea, Dom, and however that looks like. Mm-hmm. So what's going to be interesting to see is when do we get that? I haven't heard if Rhea is cleared or not for SummerSlam, but it was time for her to come back. So even she's not cleared, they can run with this for a little bit of her not having any type of physicality and still really taking this storyline where it needs to go. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything from Monday. But after I saw what I saw, I was like, you know what? It is officially time to mark Rhea Ripley as a heel and a stamp Liv Morgan.
That's the bullshit I be talking about. These guys, and I'm saying I'm generalized talking right now. These guys will sit up here and make the woman who's the victim, the wife, be the person who was the oppressor. How the wife the problem here? How Rhea the problem here? Like, whatever. But I do have a question for you when it comes to the actual
real quick
storyline.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna say it in the microphone, really deep in the microphone. No chicken nuggets. No video games. No win over daddy. No, what'd you call it? Public affection.
Displays, public displays of affection.
That's why. Now, if Rhea want to come out and do everything, now see if Dom was really the man, if Dom was really what he needs to be, he would come out. He would say, you know what? There's a new woman in my life, Rhea Ripley, and her name is Liv Morgan, and you need to fight for my love. I want chicken nuggets I want the new NCAA football game that's coming out in a couple of weeks. I want an Intercontinental Championship title match. And I want a live sex celebration. We going to Netflix. First episode. If you can't take those demands, it's me and Liv, baby.
I was going to retort and say, well, hopefully she gives him some expired ass chicken nuggets. And I lost everything you were saying after that.
Ain't nothing like a woman who was just a low down dirty dog.
No, you sit up here talking about she need to do this, and this. You don't know what that woman does for that man. Like, real talk, though. You don't know what she does for him at home. Quote unquote.
If she was doing a lot, Don would have straight up legit told Liv, leave me alone. Don't ever touch me. Stop. Wait. Get away from me.
Pump the brakes.
And that never happened.
So you're telling me that men or women, again, we're just using this example right now as a man, you're telling me he can have a pretty decent home life and family, but something else comes around that catches their attention, and because their home life is A-okay, they're not going to creep out? If you're going to sit on here on live television, on live streaming, and say yes, on live television, talking about a man can have a perfectly happy home, and that is the reason why he doesn't creep out. Let me bring that back, because I think that there are men, not all men cheat. But what I'm saying is that a man can have a happy home and still creep, is what I'm trying to get at. And if you're trying to say that, no, what I just said was a falsity, then I would say bullshit. Bullshit? No, bullshit?
I think you tried to, if I'm not mistaken, like a few minutes ago, you tried to like quote a rap line or something.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I'm going to quote
Which one?
Rap line also.
Okay.
From one that goes Jay-Z. Jay-Z said on Song Cry, I know a way of living was whack, but you don't give me back like that. That answers your question. That's what it is.
That's a double standard then.
Exactly. That's not an issue. I've never said it is not a double standard or anything like that. I'm just putting the facts out there. All the guys out there who have, if it worked out for you, the pleasure. If it didn't work out for you, the distinct situation and issues of dealing with a side chick, know where I'm coming from right now. And I think all the guys who are listening are probably completely happy and healthy in their new monogamous relationship and love everything in this world.
I love how you added that monogamous part. Sure. And all the guys will be like, yup, that's exactly it.
There it is. There it is. All right, what else?
No, I ain't shit. Let's move on to the next topic. Fuck everybody with a penis.
The next topic. We're still talking about baby faces. Are we getting damage control babyface run?
Yeah.
I don't think you saw this. I think you got up and left. I don't know what you were doing, but you missed Zoe come out. Zoe got some sleep. After Money in the Bank.
I am not
Zoe got some sleep.
I'm not condoning you talking about that.
That woman came out with her friends and rough-housed the hell out of damage control. Anybody who was moving, they put hands on.
Katana, right?
Them too. Anybody can get it. And I was a little worried. I was a little worried for Zoe because her back was turned to the camera, and I was like, "Okay, is she just kicking ass like this because she's really tired?
Move on.
Or
no,
is she kicking ass like this because she finally got, you know what I mean? And she happy to be there? She turned around like Joe Hendry. Looked right in that camera. I said, "Oh shit, we clean. We got sleep. We happy to be here.
Lord,
it's on now. It's on."
It's okay. You put some respect on her name now?
I've always put respect on her name. I just need her to get her proper 6 to 8 hours. And it looks like she's got that now. And now she's got people watching her back. So it's all good. She's got a talker now. She ain't even got to talk in the group. She just go out there, rough house, keep it moving.
I completely missed that segment.
I know you did. So you got to go back and watch that. I do think, I think we're getting babyface damage control. Because Io was out there for weeks saying something's got to change. Something's got to change. They finally get a victory, then they get their ass kicked right afterwards. That don't sound like heels to me. That sounds like baby faces.
True that, but then could that also be just maybe more to the story to break them up? Because right now, I think everybody could admit that Damage Control is pretty ice cold right now. So I don't know necessarily if I will be behind a face group of Damage Control. I mean, I will, because again, I love everybody who's in Damage Control. But as a regular maybe fan, I don't know if I would have my investment in that right now for them to stay together as a group. You're saying that you think they are going to stay together, but possibly be new faces.
Yeah. And I think that's the way to go. I mean, the way they were going was a wrap for the most part. So now we can get behind the babyface Dakota. We can definitely get behind the babyface EO. We can get behind the babyface Kyrie. There's word coming out about the new mid-card titles they're looking at, something similar to IC or US for the women, which I'm excited about. I think that's coming. Not saying Dakota would be the number one, but she is somebody that is perfect for one of those mid-card titles.
Man, but to me, it's just, this is like the beginning of a slippery slope as far as all these titles. Like, we see it in action in AEW and how just exhausting it is, because we have a damn podcast and I actually don't even know the proper names of those titles on AEW. It's like, and the ones that you're mentioning are like probably the regular ones, but the female versions of them now, or the women versions of them now. But it's just like, I think this is a real slippery slope that you start introducing all these titles, because the problem with the AEW one, which one is more important? We were able to get away with Gunther having the IC championship brought up to probably the highest levels in modern time. But then imagine having multiple belts like that and titles. Then it's going to be like, then we already feel the one that Damien's holding is nothing. Like, I actually don't even know the name of that one. So that's probably the heavyweight, and the one that Cody has is the world heavyweight or universal, right?
While Damien has it, it's called
the heavyweight.
The belt Drew McIntyre continues to lose, and the belt Seth Rollins lost at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And then once
my point exactly. You making my point for me. So
yes.
I love and I respect the fact that they want to introduce these titles for the women, because they are doing some really good stuff, some really great stuff. But we just got to be careful with it, because eventually it's going to be like, okay, so everybody is going to be like UFC and boxing. Every weight class has a championship. So
you think it's like that? I think they have, because they can't tell, they haven't told great stories outside of the main world title picture with the women. I'm looking at this as a positive for that, because now you got to tell a story. You don't have to, but you should tell a story for these mid-card titles. And I call them mid-card titles, but you guys know what I mean. It's not the world title, and so it's the next one. So I'm looking forward to it because of that. And they have more than enough women in that roster that can fight for it. That's a perfect title for Naomi. I mean, there's a lot of people that you could say, maybe as the top woman, maybe not, but that title, yeah, we can do something with that, and we can have some fun stories with that.
I will go on a record and say I am not against these additional women titles, because everything I said before, it's about time that we start appreciating the women for all the hard work that they're doing, and they're getting over, and they're great in the ring. I mean, again, that ladder match at Money in the Bank just kind of proves what I'm saying here. I just hope that doing that, we're not going to end up like the other company that has all these titles and you kind of don't even know what's behind it, the ranking of them, and then the importance of them. So at that point you are a champion, but okay, it's almost like everybody has a trophy if you're a top A+ player. And we already talk about how there's not much room right now for those main storylines, because you have so many heavy hitters at the top. So that's all I'm saying. Just, if they're going to introduce that, then let's make sure it makes sense. And so far, in overall big picture and high level, H has been doing a good job in making things make sense. So I will, again, allow him that.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I think they'll be fine with that. Speaking of women, you want to talk about Stephanie reportedly signing to WWE?
Yeah, when we were talking about Welcome Back Rhea, I was going to say, yo, what happened with Stephanie? All I know is my phone is getting blown up because you tweeted the most hilarious thing ever. Like, I'm like, yo, why is my phone going off so hard? But yeah, I mean, I know nothing of Stephanie. All I know is her name of Forbidden Door or Forbidden Wall is what I called it. I just saw that match at Forbidden Wall and I was just like, yo, who is this woman? She looks fantastic. I mean, like, and she looks so unique too. And she goes in the ring and she's a hard hitter. Like everything that I would, if I was a wrestler, I would probably want to be like her. As you know, I've always liked kind of the more muscular women, kind of the more strong women. And like she to me embodied all of that. And so then all of a sudden in our group chain message, I see that you talking about welcome to the USA and it's something about WWE. And I'm like, did she just pull the most helly okey doke ever? Like I would feel like she owes somebody some money. There's some contract tampering. Like, how is she able, honest, like real talk, because I don't know how the business work when it comes to contracts. How are you in a contract? Then a public statement comes out that you are no longer in a contract and now you signed to WWE, kind of all like immediately. Is there tampering going on? Like, how is that even possible?
I think put that right there for you. I think that Tony Khan was like, you know what? We can't wait to have you. We're going to have you for All In, a big spot. It may only be on the 0 hour, but Stephanie, if you can get out your contract, you don't even need to get out your contract. We have a great partnership with New Japan. Just come on and join us. I think Stephanie looked at that. I think Triple H saw her and Shawn Michaels saw her against Mercedes, which at this point now we know Mercedes is a double agent. She's only there to take the top talent from AEW. You heard it here first on the TFW podcast.
CEO.
And I think they were like, no, we need you now. And I woke up this morning, they were like, they put that press release out and they were just like, our apologies, but Stephanie dipped. She's not doing any more dates for any contract that she's on. She's out. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, maybe it's AEW. But I was like, man, if it's AEW, they would let her work her contract out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for like New Japan or whatever it was. I think it was CMLL. And I was like, damn, okay. I knew there was some talks that WWE was interested before. I mean, she's tried out for him before, years and years ago. And I knew that she made big waves with that match with Mercedes. I still think a lot of that was Mercedes, but every match is a dance with two people. Nobody goes out there and does it on their own. So I'll kind of, stop there. But I'm excited for her. They are collecting. You got Julia now. You got Stephanie. The NXT women's roster is already ridiculous. We'll talk about Heatwave in a little bit, but they're doing something special.
And I think that's so cool because over the last 3 years since 2.0, a lot of the whole thing of how NXT started when they finally got like a TV deal, you had a lot of these indie wrestlers that H picked up because really they were indie wrestlers. Let's get them a full-time kind of contract. So that kind of pool of people kind of was already saturated, or not saturated, they've already been through. And so he started introducing all these athletes in. And that's kind of where we got like the 2.0 as well. And we got all the gymnasts. We'll talk about them too on Heatwave. But I think like with Julia, now with Stephanie, them coming on, I think that's going to just elevate those young women there that are the athletes and then just catapult them to another level because they're now going to be able to get that ring experience with someone who is seasoned in doing it. Not just someone else who is, again, on your same level of athleticism. Now you're about to get somebody who's actually been in the ring and they can teach those extra little tips and tricks. And I know they have producers or whatever you call those people, trainers down in the performance center to help them with that. But it's still a little bit different if you're on TV live getting those repetitions with those seasoned wrestlers. I think it's going to be really good for them.
It's 2 seasons down there.
2 seasons.
It's just 2 seasons. You wanna get into your? I know where you're going with it. Do you want to get into your CM Punk, Seth Rollins conversation?
Seth, we talk about 69s, right? This is episode, add 20, then take away 100, right? So we talking about 69.
Sounds great.
Right. Seth ate, when I mean ate, Seth ate Punk alive, okay? Like, to me, everybody already knows how I feel about Punk. Ain't no secret. But he has been, and I don't know if it's because he has been used to just going out there and doing what he does, where maybe Seth has been in this longer. So maybe his scripts or the bullet points is something that he has more of a cadence, a similarity that he's actually working through. So it's easier for him to talk when he's out there, whereas Punk is just going off the top of his head and he hasn't really been in front of a mic in front of people for like as much as Seth. But Seth ate him alive. At one point, I'm like, Punk, what are you actually talking about? And pipe bomb, like to me, I never would even thought we would get to this point where Punk would like flubber over his words, or like for me as a fan listening intently to him, kind of not understand where he's going. And Seth goes out there and he pulls the Eminem from 8 Mile. Yeah, I know you're talking about my heels too. Like Seth went out there and ate him, 69 ate him.
So he only ate his ass, is what you're saying. If you're bringing up 69,
yeah,
I want to make sure. I want to make sure. I don't know what we were talking about.
I'm talking about just eating.
You had no reason to bring up 69 there,
but it's eating.
So I want to make sure you understand.
The kids say, "Oh, he ate, right?" Or she ate. So that's what I'm just saying. When you 69, and somebody's eating, or some people eating.
So Rhodesia is saying that Seth Rollins is 69 God. That's what I heard.
Freak yeah. That's 69 God.
Okay. Yeah. So it's funny. Wole just said he thinks that Punk let Seth win. I don't think so, brother. I do not think so. I think Seth just got him. I think Seth got him on this one. And I said while we were watching, I'm like, look at Seth's eyes. He means everything he's saying right now. Seth gets a particular look. Like Roman, you can tell Roman is like actually really feeling it. His cadence kind of speeds up a little bit in the ring. Like he's not as meticulous with what he says. He kind of speeds up a little bit. And with Seth, you can just see it in his eyes. And we know there is a thing with him and Punk. It's probably that super duper healthy competition. I love the callback with Punk where he's like, I told you the first time.
Yep.
I am not going to allow you to speak to me a certain type of way. Watch your mouth. Watch your words very clear. Seth ain't care about none of that.
Like, actually made me mad.
And I think, and I agree, Seth got him on this one. And Punk did his thing, right? Like I love Punk's style of promos, and it's funny too when you think about just how much we have had Punk since he came back in Survivor Series, but we haven't at the same time either. Like when he made his entrance, I was looking at him, I'm just like, there was just so much. They haven't even started yet because he got hurt. But we look at how just great this him and Drew. We really still haven't gotten him and Seth going. We know what him and Roman's going to have to cross paths. Him and Cody's going to have to cross paths. Now, him and John Cena are going to have to cross paths. Him and Randy Orton are going to have to cross paths. And that's then not even including some of the up-and-comers. What him and Braun Breaker probably can do. Him and Carmelo. Like, it really comes down to if you're anybody in WWE, you and Punk can probably make magic either in the ring or leading to that in the promos, but there's a lot there. It's just knock on wood, he stays healthy. Right. But Seth got him. Seth got him on that one. And I was like, I didn't expect it to be like that. It was still good. It wasn't like a 10-8 round, but it was 10-9 clearly.
No, I'm probably gonna go 10-8. And again, because probably I'm biased there, and so I'm partial.
You're a hater.
I'm the judge on the corner, around the ring. I'm gonna mark that as a 10-8 round for Seth. Because you know what he did? He ate him.
You got to stop doing that. That is not
cute. It feels good, though. You should try it one day. It feels good, though.
Try to eat Seth's... I mean, what we talking? I mean, if... we can stop talking about wrestling right now. Like, I just want to know where we are going.
This is a wrestling podcast.
At this point. Okay. All right. Then we'll move on. We'll keep this thing going.
I'm going to touch on Drew just real quick.
Okay, I'm listening. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, just Drew, I see, is now welcome back on Monday to talk to Madam Pierce. So are we going to see Drew go away for some weeks or not? I mean, he pretty much what is the code breaker? Not code breaker. What's the elbow that Jericho used to do?
The Judas effect.
Judas effect Adam Pierce, and he's allowed back on Raw. At least talk to Adam Pierce. Yeah. So we'll see, I guess, what's up with that.
Money talks. This has to be some type of street fight at SummerSlam.
I can see that.
You can't have this type of blood feud and then expect them to do suplexes or, you know what I mean, wrist locks and no. And Drew needs to beat the dog shit out of CM Punk.
He needs to kill him.
That is how this needs to happen.
AEL. Yep.
And then he can get his, get back after that. But yeah, that has to happen.
Yep.
Twitter is on fire. Eric and Wale are hilarious.
What they talking about? I can't. I'm not multitasking like that.
So last pod, we tried to talk about John Cena, and he had his panties in a bunch. So he didn't want to talk about Cena. So I got a topic I do want to bring up. So, they doubled down on it on Raw and kind of replayed his promo and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to ask you a question, Rhodesia, and everybody listening, feel free. Put in the comments. Send me a message throughout the week. We'll talk about it on Sunday's pod or Monday's pod. I want you to give me the ranking of where John Cena is in regards to the top guys in WWE. And I have a list. And the way I looked at top guys in WWE is the amount of WrestleMania main events they've had. Okay, so they were in multiple, and I'm talking about multiple, or if I know they ran an entire era, I put them on this list. And you don't have to rank everybody. I just want to know where you would put him at with this. Okay, so I started with just the oldest and then the newest. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hogan. I put Bret and Shine on the same one. I just put Bret and Shine because I couldn't figure out who we should include. Undertaker. Triple H. Austin. Rock and Roman. Where do you put Cena at in that list?
Purely just because of the bloodline story, I'm going to put him number 2. I'm going to put Roman on top of him. Because when you mention like WrestleManias, I think, and I could probably pull it up, Roman and John Cena probably has had the most main events in WrestleMania. Out of those people that you mentioned there. Undertaker, at least toward the latter half, he never really was in the main event spot. He usually was somewhere kind of in the middle, and then because he was that attraction match, that the streak. We saw him a couple of times in the main event spot, but overall, Cena and Roman held that down, and I think Roman came off of 8 or 9 years in a row as the main event. So I'm going to put, without me looking it up and Googling it, John Cena is number 2.
Ooh.
None of them have the tenure. Maybe Hogan.
He's not bigger than Hogan when it comes to the top guys in history of WWE. He's not.
But did you mention WrestleMania? You just mentioned WrestleMania eras.
I said this list was based off of if you main event in multiple WrestleManias, you were that guy in WWE. Is what I'm saying. So, because I could have put Bruno on here, but I didn't watch Bruno. So, he's not bigger than Hogan. So, that wasn't
the right measuring stick then. So, now we're just talking about who was the bigger.
Yeah, I said I got those names from looking at the main events of WrestleMania. Yep. Okay, so does that change your answer then?
Probably. So, I would it'll be more of my Mount Rushmore of top wrestlers. So, okay. I would probably put Terry stank ass on that list. I would probably go. Damn. Maybe number. Ooh. So I'll put Hogan on there.
Yep.
I'll put Austin on there.
Yep.
I will put Rock on there.
Yep.
I absolutely just have to put Roman, and that's gonna be my heart. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then number 5 would be John Cena.
Cena goes next for me.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can argue and talk whoever after that where you want to put. I probably will put Triple H last.
I probably would too.
On there. And I probably would go, some type of combination of Shawn, Bret, Taker, Taker, Bret, Shawn. You know what I mean? Like those 3, just whatever. You can pick out a hat and I'll be okay with where they are. But yeah, I have them 5. which is nuts to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But I have him 5 because of the time he was on top. The product wasn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I got to mark you off of that.
And that's fair. That's fair, because I will call him number 2 when we talk about the face of WWE, the vision, the legacy of WWE in modern day time. And let's say Hogan. So put Hogan there, because I think the majority of people who even listen to this show watched at the earliest when Hogan started watching or started wrestling. So Hogan to me will always be 1. He's the wrestler of that generation. To me, Cena was the wrestler of that next generation, and Roman is the wrestler of this generation. So for me, I would always put him as number 2. But in this whole ranking, you're right. Yeah, you held it down for 10, 12 years, but your product sucked. Now, is that his fault? No. We know
he was on top.
But he was the person that was on top.
When Brett in 93, 94, when he was on top and business was in the shitter, he ate it. He ate it. He was known as, okay, you can't draw, as being the top guy. So we got to look at that. And that's why
is that Roman probably why Vince was like
and
that?
That's why if you think about, and we didn't include Cody. Cody's way too early in this run to have this conversation. But when Cody retires, and if WWE stays as hot as it is now for another 5-6 years, say he's got 4 or 5 title reigns in those 6-7 years, we're gonna have to look at Cody and we're gonna have to say, all right, you were the top guy at the hottest point in the business. You're about to crack that top 3 or top 4 somewhere. But for me, Cody would never be hotter than or tops of Roman, Rock, Austin, Hulk Hogan, not Terry.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. And Cena. So he's always going to be minimally 6 on that list for me. But I mean, when you think about the hundreds and hundreds of wrestlers we've had in the decades and decades and decades, cracking the top 20 is something big. Cracking the top 10 is like, okay, that is GOAT status.
That is GOAT status.
And who knows? Because we may change our minds. We got a year with him, starting in January.
Yeah.
Think about what they've done in the last year and a half or so with Roman and his storyline arc. If they can tell a masterful story with Cena.
You mean Rock? You said with Roman's story arc. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about just the last year and a half with Roman. We had the Sammy piece. We had the Jay and Jimmy. Not saying they're going to do anything like that with John, because allegedly, Cena doesn't know. Allegedly, he doesn't know who he's wrestling. He doesn't know his storylines. He's not politicking for anybody in particular. Allegedly, that's what it's supposed to be. Which, once again, hey, shout out to him. We've heard how much he's a good guy, but I would want to know, all right, we got 1 year. What we doing? What's the North Star? He probably knows what the last match may be, I'm sure, but he's probably all right, the rest of the time. Well, hell, he's the same guy that they had him for a summer and he only wanted to do house shows. He didn't want to be in the storyline on TV.
Is that, though?
Let me take that back. He's just doing what Cena does, I guess, at that point.
I thought you was about to mention Rock when you said in the last year and a half, the story arc. For instance, at the end of the day, Rock will always be my Mount Rushmore, one of my 4, no matter what. Because again, that's when I started watching wrestling. That was one of my favorite wrestlers. But when he came back and became this final boss, and how they had lightning in a bottle, that just really truly cemented his place. I don't think Rock can come back and be terrible for 5 years later, but just because he came back and became the final boss, he just overfilled and said, you know what, he will always cement his place on my Mount Rushmore because of the shit that he did.
And don't forget, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Cody crowned as champion on night 2 of WrestleMania. He made that happen.
I'm telling you, he said that.
I watched the documentary.
I did too. And I saw him when he said he had to do it for the people, because he knew the money was with Rock and Roman. All the people were the shareholders wanted, the people out there who don't watch wrestling, that's what they wanted, right? But he knew he had to do it for the wrestling fans. So he told them, no, I can't do this. We got to let Cody win. By the way, I think you and I talked about this for a hot second. when watching the doc, did you feel like Triple H was always going to do this anyways? And he was like, yeah, whatever.
Man, hell yeah. When he said Cody's going over in the Royal Rumble. Anyway, I'm telling you, behind closed doors, and that's why I don't think we never talked about this on the pod.
We didn't.
Triple H and Cody have a relationship that I think is now they're bonded forever. And I think it is because Triple H told Cody, I got your back. I'm going to take care of this. We're going to force their hand. We're going to force their hand.
And that's what I felt like.
And that's super big because Rock is on the board. He's more important in the hierarchy than Triple H is. So for Triple H to go for bat like that with Cody, and Cody would never say it, especially not while he's active. Now, maybe he may come out when they're all retired and whatever the case may be, et cetera, et cetera. But I can guarantee you, I bet my podcast that's what happened. I bet you that's what happened.
If I felt that through this Rocky scrubbed documentary, I still felt Triple H was like, no, we still gonna do this over here. We'll let them talk and do whatever they gotta do, but this is what we're gonna do. If I still felt that through that Rocky washed video, do you know what that really was? And then Rock tried to say something like, we're gonna just run two storylines in parallel with each other. No, Negro. Cody's gonna win. The match is gonna be Cody and Roman. So like two storylines. What kind of shit is that?
It didn't make sense too, because we were talking about like we're running one story behind the scenes, the other story right. in front of the fans. Well, then your story behind the scenes, sir, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, sir, because
you're running two different books.
Your plan was always for Roman to work twice. Night one against Cody, or night one against you, and then vice versa on night two. Something was going to have to give.
So H was H was told Cody behind closed doors, listen, we're going to still do what we're doing here, and they're going to eventually see it. That's the reason why I feel like Cody we kind of came out months ago and said, and I said it, I'll be honest with it. I was like, I think Cody was kind of messed up for playing a little bit too much the sad role. Like, you are a performer. You are getting paid to be a performer. You need to sell that match, because I was critical on him being like the woe is me and the tail under my legs when he found out after he pointed at Roman that he was going to go after him at Mania, to then getting it taken away. I did feel he should have did something different. He should have, as a manager, as a leader, usually you are supposed to be like, all right, this is what I have to do. Let me take charge and let me show it with my chest pumped up. And he didn't do that. But because I think H was like, listen, go out there and be Cody and make the fans make this happen. And then at the end, what it was Rocky made it happen. Thank you, Rocky.
Who's a bigger heel, The Rock or Rhea Ripley?
The Rock. Because we could have had this damn documentary 3 days after WrestleMania. We had to wait 2.5 months just to get nothing. Like, to me, I said it last time.
If you just join us, Rhea Ripley is a heel. Liv Morgan's a babyface. Because she gave Dominic nuggets.
Seth eats.
Got his boys dripped in gold. Got some of that public affection in the middle of the ring, outside the ring. Rhea Ripley ain't never done that. Just wanted to bring that up again. That's all. You want to talk about NXT kicking WWE's back in this past weekend? You got to stop that, man. Like, I don't.
It feels so good. That, listen, it feels so good when you do that. Just, I know you keep.
It feels so good when I do that.
That too, but I'm talking about just in general. You know, like how when boxers are about to fight, they do that with their mouth and stuff because they got to get loose. It feels good when you do it. It's satisfying. I challenge everybody out there to do that.
This is what I challenge you to do. I want you to come back to the podcast on next episode, and I want you to tell the people what felt good to you over the last few days. Okay? And I want you to make that same noise, and I want you to give it up to the folks.
So I have to be making...
I think the freaks will appreciate it.
I have to talk while I'm doing that?
You know, you can just do it at the beginning.
Saturday night, we was getting in
there. Wow. We should end the pod right there.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, you act like it. You know, the bad little kids, when they just run around the house, they just be breaking shit, and then you look at the parent, and the parent's just like, I'm sorry, they're sleepy. It's like, no, they're just bad. They're just bad. They're not sleepy. They're always sleepy. I've never seen your kid kind of like Zoe. She finally got a good
Okay. No.
rest
So then
on Raw, and it was all good.
Okay. Last thing that I have from Raw, well, I had two things. One though would be quick on Drew. See that they're about to not Drew, sorry, Gunther. They're starting to heat that back up again. Because we already talked about Gunther already said, listen, I want to clock out, go on vacay for a little bit, and then when we're in home run stretch for SummerSlam, then I'll come back. I like the video package that reintroduced him. I thought that was pretty cool. And anybody who maybe just started watching wrestling WWE after Mania, I think I would have been excited to see who this Gunther guy is.
I agree. Gunther said, I'm not going to Toronto. I'm not going wherever the pay-per-view is a month before that. Like, I did what I need to do in Saudi. See y'all in August.
Yep. I'll send you a video package, but that's about it.
That's it, folks.
But I thought that was a really good package, though. Like I said, it showed and it told his story. And so when WWE does it right, it's like cinematic. It's like, this is something that if I wasn't watching, and I'm not going to bring up the comparison, so I'll just say this. If you are new to watching this product because The Rock as the final boss brought you in, or Cody finishing the storyline because you heard that this was this underdog for a whole year and a half and his daddy was in wrestling for 55 years and all that, like whoever just watched WWE since Mania, I feel like WWE does such a great job in telling these stories of these people so that wherever you are in your wrestling fandom, you can say, all right, within a month or a few episodes, I can kind of get an idea of what's happening, like a soap opera. The best soap operas even now, like my mom came and visited a couple months ago. She's watching her stories. The same people are in it, but I can still tell where they're going and what just recently happened because they do a great job in explaining the story and telling it. So if you just watch a couple episodes of it, you're kind of back into it and now you're in the know and you don't feel like you're isolated. Somebody like the much noise. Check out the Twitter. The Twitter.
I just need you say you got two things. I need you to focus. It's not on me right now. You want it this time? Come on now.
And then the other one was just the third installment of the Wyatt 6 video. Pretty much Bo talks about, hey, why the family is together. These were the people that didn't want them. They were discarded and forgotten. So at least now I feel like, and I kind of hope that this was the last video. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like they did what they did. The first video was just epic, cinematic. The second one, you kind of see Bo now becoming Uncle Howdy. If he wasn't before, he is now. He being like the leader, the proverbial leader, and then now introducing the rest of the cast. I think that this should be it. I don't think we should have any more videos, and we should just go forward in whatever they plan on doing.
He was in the locker room
as just Bo.
At that point, you are going to assume maybe that is the end of the videos.
Yeah.
Because now we're seeing you in real life as Bo Dallas, which I thought was cool. I did think it was interesting that, like, Pierce, you just closed the door, like you're not freaked out, you're not scared. So I did think they could have, but maybe it's because it was Bo. Maybe because it was Bo Dallas and not Uncle Howdy, right? So maybe that's why he didn't show that fear. Because anybody that's connected to the Wyatt 6 should be running for their lives like their name is Jey Uso.
Yep.
Jey ain't playing around with these folks.
Man, I love Jey. I love Jey.
A lovable loser is what he is right now.
Hey, real talk. Man. When was the last time that he actually won a meaningful match? Against his brother at Mania?
No, the match where he beat Dragunov to get into the King of the Ring tournament.
Okay.
Before that, it was Mania.
And then before that, last year.
When he pinned Roman.
Yep.
He's got some big victories. They're just few and far between.
He got 4 victories a year. Big ones though, but yeah, whatever. I'm still there for Jey. I'm still there for all that eating. But I think he is almost, for me, almost a made man. And most people probably would argue that he is already a made man. I'm just saying almost because I think if you go a little bit longer with him not winning something important, then I'm going to say, oh, then he's not important. And that's just from my point of view.
Fonz sent me a text, and he doesn't watch much wrestling. Like he used to watch hard, like every Monday he would come over and watch Raw with us. Like he was like that. No Mercy, we would play it, all that kind of stuff. So he's like in and out now. He watched Mania. He was there for that. So he sent me a text on Monday and he was like, no, it may have been on Twitter when I put up the video. And shout out to Chelsea. Chelsea liked it and reposted it, where I put up the video about the women's ladder match. And he commented and he was like, should I go back and watch this? I was so turned off by Jay losing in the first match that I didn't watch the rest of the show. I just kept up on it through clips. And that's the risk you run when you got somebody who's hot that continues to lose. Like that's a real thing.
That's
so I just wanted to share. I wanted to share that story just because like that's normal.
Yeah.
Right. Like we are so invested, we're not turning, but it's no different than a bad movie that they do something stupid, or you're watching a TV show and it's like, okay, I'm all right. You got me off. I'm done. You turn the channel.
Yeah, because you just did it one too many times. Like even Drew, but again, Drew is his losing is like building toward his anger, and that anger is going to be that passion to fire. So it is making sense because he's a bad guy, I guess, or at least he wants to kill Punk. So I'm gonna just call him a bad guy, but Punk kind of want to kill him too. But it's okay, I think, with him because it's fueling his energy of being angry and vicious. Well, Jay is not that. Jay is your face. So for me, made man, yes, but he gotta have some meaningful meaningful wins a little more often than just every 4 months.
Or if that's not going to happen and we are keeping him in this primer role and he's in the oven, but it's not on 350, but we're just on warm. So it stays warm until it's time to turn it up because we're about to eat our food. He needs to be
eat.
Okay, relax. No, not again. Not again, please. He needs to be a integral part of the Roman Reigns story to where
Agreed.
Roman is begging him to come back and he's the one that puts it over the top. Like it needs to be something like that. Pay this man off. This man has busted his ass for 2 years. And yeah, wrestling titles that sometimes are just a gimmick, but other times it means something. And if Jay if he wins the IC belt or the heavyweight championship, it's going to mean something. Do something with him. With that, anyway.
Absolutely. That's all I got for Raw.
All right, so I want to talk
NXT.
Just really quick. Yeah, Heatwave was tremendous. And I put that on Twitter. I apologize to NXT. When I was watching last week, I think it was, and they said something to the effect of, can they steal the weekend?
Not can they. It's something like they will. And I'm like, the lies you tell.
And I audibly laughed out loud like I was Santa Claus on December 24th coming down chimneys. I ate them words. My apologies, NXT. Everything on that show was minimally great. They smoked it.
What I would say,
great job, NXT.
I didn't watch all the matches where I wasn't paying attention to all the matches, but just a couple ones that did stand out to me. One, I'll touch on Obafemi. I had to put on my notes. He actually is pretty good. Like, I thought he was kind of a gimmick to me, just this big dude who's dominant. But in order to have such a great match with Wesley, with such a huge size difference, and I didn't feel or see that size difference, like he was dominant, but what I mean, like it didn't feel clunky or out of place. They danced really nice together. I'm like, maybe Oba is that guy. So that was the one thing I had on him. Kalani, and so I thought that wasn't it like a callback to something that Ricochet did. I don't know, like all those callback things.
The Ricochet Ospreay match.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool. Two gymnasts in there going at it. I thought that match was really good. This Kalani, she has just I ate my words when I didn't think she was going to be the North Atlantic or North American champion. Out of all the people who was in that match, I said she was the one that was not going to win. They put the belt on her, blew my mind, like no freaking way. But I feel like we talk about the sinking or swimming. You know, you're going to have to just take a chance with them. I think she's doing good. She bombed kind of her first mic interview afterwards. But I think that at least in the ring, she looks... or her mic promo. You know, mic promo. You know, don't do that. Don't be condescending like that
just
at
asking.
this late in the show, because you already know what's about to happen. And if that's the case,
so worried
I'm
about
about to start
eating.
catching attitude.
Yeah, I need you to worry about actually articulating it. Would you say it to me a couple episodes ago?
Step your vernacular up.
Vernacular up.
Step
you
your
sitting here
vernacular
making dumbass chomping noises. You telling me to step my vernacular up? Are you kidding me? Boy, that's a cold world out here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, and then little Matthew was calling it all week. He's like, "Watch, Ethan Page is on."
Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, so I get it. So you think only you're talking about NXT? You're just running through all the matches.
Oh yeah,
you're just running through.
You said real quick. You said they did good, bravo, and then you paused. And so, based off of the synergy, I thought that you were done with it.
Match by match, you just weren't supposed to just run through.
No, there was just 3 matches. That's what I want to talk about.
It.
You could talk about the other matches. You could talk about Roxanne Perez. You could talk about with Lola Vice. You could talk about the other matches.
I tell you what's funny about Lola. I knew she was losing when she came out. She was smiling too much, overly smiling, and it was uncomfortable. And this is a psychology piece, and I could be off. I don't think I am though. They ran an injury spot with her hand, and she went from smiling and overly smiling in the entrance, and then when they're announcing, the match before the match starts, and then she's damn near crying in the match when she hurt her arm. I was like, I got it.
The contrast.
Okay, they're showing the contrast of emotions, but when she came out like just super hard smile, I was like, oh, she's losing this one, and she did, and she lost it. I thought that was a really good match too. Like 5 finishers it took. I think one was a little rough, so it may have only been 4, but regardless, it was going to be at least 4 finishers to put her away, which I thought was good. But I do want to go back to Sol Ruka and Kalani. Match was great, fantastic match. I know I talk about Meltzer a lot, but man, he is just. And if you are still paying Meltzer at this point, God bless. Save that money and give it to us when we go on Patreon, because you ain't getting nothing but lies and I thinks and pretty much. That is all he's giving right now. He got on his platform on either Sunday night or Monday, him and Alvarez, and they talked about just how that match was just too choreographed and it wasn't good, and it's anybody else, if it was anybody else in there, then it would have been okay. They pulled up the receipts from Ospreay and Ricochet, where they basically had orgasms on air, talking about how great the match was.
See, you not gonna get one over on the internet. They gonna find it. They gonna find it.
Internet.
They are gonna internet.
But that just shows like the level of, and I don't even want to say tribalism. I don't know what that is, but those girls went out there, busted their ass, had a hell of a match. If you are consistent, you say, okay, that was too choreographed. Cool, I get it. I've already said, like, NXT, if that is your thing, you probably don't like NXT, because you can watch NXT, and I said it maybe in the last PLE, No Mercy. I'm like, oh, I can see where they were in the PC, and they were like, oh, you know what would be cool?
I would do this.
If we do this.
Do that.
Then we do this. Oh, we do this. You can see it in their matches.
Yeah.
Because they have time for days at a time to work on their spots. And so you can see when like they come up with these tremendous spots. It's like, okay, yeah, because that was the work of, who knows, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, entire week. Where main roster, you don't have that kind of time. You're not doing that. But I thought it was great. I thought that was great. I already said I thought every match was great. And they did beat Money in the Bank. And I think cleanly and clearly they were the better show. And they followed up with a strong show on Tuesday. I know you were about to talk about Ethan Page winning. I love that. That was a callback from another Fatal 4-Way match with Shawn Michaels, where he was actually in the match, where they did something super similar in the title change. And that was just so smart the way they did it, because nobody would have thought it happened like that. Even if you thought like Trick wasn't going to retain, you didn't think it would be like that. And they pulled it off. And then Paige comes out and, cuts a great promo Tuesday night, still cocky and talking. It's like, dude, you barely won. Like, you don't even remember winning, but that just goes to it all. So they're doing some good stuff. I'm happy for NXT. They are, same thing with them. They are peaking and trending in the right direction before they go to UPN.
One quick question. You think it was the right call putting the title on Ethan? Or is it just incomplete? Data incomplete?
Was it the right call? Yes.
Okay.
But it's incomplete. It's going to be the matter of how much of a yes when I can see where they're going with the stories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's the right call because you want to see Trick chase.
Yeah.
And have a reason he didn't get pinned. So you protected him that way. He lost it in the Fatal 4-Way. Once again, you're putting, because at the end of the day, this is still developmental to a certain extent. You're putting these guys in positions to see what they can do, where their strengths were. Braun Breaker talked about that. I think he was on the Masked Man show a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And they kind of asked him, like, man, you were like in a hold pattern, felt like, for a while in NXT. Like, you done everything, and we thought you were getting put up to the main roster, and then it was kind of like, all right, you're still here, and then you got the tag team with Baron Corbin, and he talked about it. He was just like, man, it was like strange. It was strange. It was a little uncomfortable.
I bet.
He's like, but you got to roll with the punches. Like, I just feel like anything you give me, I'm gonna knock out. And it was just, a lot of weeks where it was kind of just like, all right, well, if this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do to show that I'm good at it. And I'm not saying like they're not doing that particular thing with Trick, but okay, now let's see how you are on the chase after losing something that you really care about. Let's see what that looks like. And you're in there still. You look at who he's in there with. He's in there with veterans, that can teach him and work with him and show him some of the things. So it's not like he's in there and he's, feuding with, other 24, 25-year-olds who only have 2 years experience in the game. Like every time he locks up, every time he gets in there, he has a promo exchange. He's going to learn something every single time, which is great. And that's all you can ask for. Yeah,
because we saw him do really well under Carmelo. So you get somebody like an Ethan Page who's just as I don't want to say flamboyant, but just as snarky. I mean, I'll call him flamboyant in this case here. Somebody like an Ethan Page who's going to raise him up, especially like even just the experiences at bats on the mic. He's going to help get him there too, because Ethan Page is really good. Even when he was in AEW, I mean, you used to say it forever. You probably even said it before we started potting. Like, they don't realize what they have in Ethan Page. Like, he's like the man. He has the look. He can go in the ring. He's great on a mic. So I think we're going to be able to see this, what his potential really is.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Anything else off of Heatwave you want to talk about?
No, I remember I already talked about all the things I saw.
Yeah, you ran right through it. It's like, damn, this is not a single show. You have somebody else with you. We talk, we have a conversation. All right, let's talk AEW real quick. We were like, now it's like a week. It's kind of late. We did go to the AEW show last week. Loved it. Thought the show was great. Live. That was a show that I felt was really needed in regards to, they gave us 4 great matches, but then they also really did a strong job with storylines. The Britt Mercedes promo segment was great live.
Britt, you know what Britt did? She ate that one up too. I was just like, such a wonderful and beautiful message from her, because again, with her, even like with Adam Cole, they're able to kind of speak from like internally on how they feel, and it's authentic. So when it comes off, you feel that energy. And so just like to kind of hear her talking through that, like when you facing some adversity, go through that shit. Don't deny it. Don't try to hide it. Go through it. You're going to be so much better on the other side of it. Like, it was just such a powerful message to me. So that kind of started off the night. And to me, I was like, yeah, this is it. Bravo already.
Mercedes should have hit her with just a nice speech, and that was it, and kept it moving. But I said on the pod, they need to clearly define who's the babyface, which needed to be Britt, and who's the heel, which needed to be Mercedes. They did that.
Yeah.
Last week, which was great. Matches, like I said, was great. Show was overall really, really strong. We come out of it with MJF damn near killing Garcia, which I also really enjoyed, because now we know he's back to being a heel. I really enjoy Babyface. I really enjoy Babyface Max. because he's that popular, but he's best suited as a heel. I understand that.
Yeah.
He comes out on Collision and cuts a hell of a promo. You know, they kind of showed a little bit on Dynamite tonight, but we're getting Ospreay versus MJF at next week. I was about to say at All In because I just knew they were doing at All In. They are doing it next week. So I asked you, Rhodesia, when they announced it, not as a question to get an answer, because we can do it here. What is a bigger match right now today? Is the bigger match MJF and Ospreay for All In, or is the bigger match Ospreay versus Ricochet at All In?
If you're saying today, it has to be who we have today. So you're going to have to say Ospreay and MJF. Again, I'm partial to Ricochet. So if he was already live, inserted into the story, into the show, then I would say Ospreay and Ricochet. But right now, that's not realized yet. So I have to go Ospreay MJF.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I don't know why, or if so, then we can't be getting it at All In, because that would be one of the dumbest booking decisions in the world if they do that. I don't think they're doing that. So maybe they are doing Ospreay and Ricochet at All In. Maybe he comes in, debuts at the end of that match or something like that. You know, will we get that? But I just knew we were getting that at All In. We'll see where the story is. If it was me, that's your match for All In. And then if you want to do Ospreay Ricochet at All Out, you do that.
Right. That's what I was kind of thinking
too. But
giving
MJF versus Ospreay away next week, I don't know. We'll see how it plays off. But initially, I don't understand. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
They threw me completely off the scent when Ospreay won this new title. I don't even know the name of the title. Sorry to that championship. But when and then when he the international
intercontinental.
Oh God. When he won that championship, we were like, yo, whoa, like, okay, so all right. You just put a championship on him because he's brand new, and again, he is up there. He's your main guy, so okay, I'm gonna pay him off that way. But then he didn't win against Swerve. And I'm like, okay, because we always thought that he was gonna win that championship at All In. Again, you crown him in his home country. You can't write better story than that. But then when all that other stuff that just happened that I just mentioned, I have no idea where this is going. I will say, because I saw just a little bit on Dynamite today, Ospreay talking about, I got to pull it up. I saved it because I was like, bars for days, bars. He says, the bidding war of 2024 didn't go your way. Tony Khan would rather spend his money on people who will elevate AEW instead of burying it. For starters, the video camera shots of that, I thought that was pretty good as far as production. I thought that was different. That was unique. Yeah. It was black because they were kind of blocking off all the people too, but the non-people that was there. But down. I thought but I like
keep that down. That camera started panning back. I was like, you better stop panning back. you better stop panning back. You gonna show that left side of that arena. You don't want to do that.
Nobody there. But I was like, I love that. And for him to come out and say what he said, I'm like, he pissed. Like, he marked his territory and said, listen, all right, bruv, I'm the man here. And I don't think there's any bad blood between him and MJF, but at least for us as the fans of AEW who's watching, he's like, nope, this is my place.
I tell you who does have bad blood. Mariah May beat the hell. Are you kidding me? I didn't see that coming. That was chef's kiss, masterfully done. Did not see that heel turn coming. I call it a heel turn because everybody cheers Mariah and Toni. But immediately after she won, bloodied her, put Luther through a table, left her laying. Man, that was a good little piece of business. That was great. And now I guess Toni's a face. I mean, she was never heel really, but you know what I mean when I say that. She is the face there, which is another interesting call because Toni's going into her home country. She's going to get cheered. So that's interesting. But it is now a blood feud, a legit blood feud because she drew blood on her.
I just saw that very last scene right before we got ready for the pod, and I'm like, wow. And it's just, again, You talk about me making my chumping sounds. Anytime somebody puts somebody else's blood near their mouth and face, that to me is just like the most disgusting thing ever. Like it's like, ugh. So to me, when
Every time
she
I see
did
that, I
that,
always think like, did y'all test
you have to,
before you
because
do
I'm
that?
not putting your blood in my
You
mouth
know, like
and you got some disease, like
there's
whatever.
too many airborne diseases out here in these streets.
Yet alone blood viruses. But no, that was pretty gruesome. So I am put that right in my veins. I love to see that. We knew that this would eventually come, though. We knew it. We knew it. So let's see how this plays out. And again,
Yeah, but I
now
didn't think it'd be like that. I thought it would be Toni was going to turn. That's what I thought was going to happen. And she'll come out and she'll cut a hell of a promo of why she did it and her reasoning behind it, because it's, you know, it's you before me, and we'll get something good with that. But that was shocking. And it's not too many times where I'm completely thrown off on something. That was one. I was thrown off on.
I'm here for that.
I tweeted last week during the show when we saw Bryan and Pac live, which was a great match. I said that I think Bryan's going to Wembley. He is. It was a toss up between him and Hangman. It came down to them in the finals. That's going to be a fantastic match. Bryan and Swerve at All In. Bryan's losing. This will be a fantastic match.
Did they ever go against each other in WWE?
Hell no. I don't think so. If they did, it wasn't worth nothing.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because I mean, yes, no. They did not.
Yes,
and I say Bryan is losing because I don't think you do that to Swerve. As much as we would love Bryan to finally get a world title.
But isn't that his choice that he doesn't want the title? Where am I hearing that from?
But I still said, if I was Tony Khan, hey man, that's great. I appreciate you not wanting it. We're putting the belt on you. And we're putting you all over everything marketing AEW. Like, you're one of the most noticeable people in our company. You're getting the title and you're going to have a run with it. Me personally, though, I don't even care about him winning the title anymore. That's me personally. I was on that a year ago, 2 years ago.
Right.
Now I was just like, well, I'm whatever. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Especially not beating Swerve at All In. I don't want that. If Swerve is not going to be a transitional champion, let's make sure he's not a transitional champion. So
I kind of wanted to put myself out there, right? Although you do a great job at always calling me out on stuff. But I just wanted, because we were talking about AEW and when we went to go see Dynamite last week when they were here in Chicago, my ignorant Mark rant. So for the people who know me, I text using voice to text. And I voice to text and my font is super big. They clown me. They say I'm like an old lady. Despite what E says about me, I'm actually much older.
She's an old auntie at times. I tell her, like, me, look at you, an old auntie.
And I'm doing like this to try to see what's happening. So what I do is I just put the little speaker button and I speak into my phone. So this is the notes that I wrote. It's probably not legible. Like, you're not going to probably understand it. But then you're going to have to see kind of the end of the story. And it reminds me of somebody who got into a fight with their partner. The partner is now sending them to the voicemail. And every time you call them, you go to voicemail, you leave it another voicemail. As it goes on, it gets hotter and heater. And then finally, Matt had to like tell me the whole story behind it. So I'm talking about Jeff Jarrett match that he had. So I'm just going to read here. Jeff J, sorry to that man that I wish this. Go enjoy your legacy and retire. 56 years old, taking power bombs to the apron and a DDT I didn't see. To be critical, pain spelled a little underwhelming. And the crowd thought it was exciting. But I wonder how it came across television. Why are you kicking out at 56 years old? Jeff Jarrett has something on Toni for damn sure. The only reason why I'm letting this slide because this is Hangman's first match back. And then
the only reason why I'm letting it slide, like, you gonna go rush the ring or you gonna go backstage and handle your business. The only reason why I'm letting this slide. All right, you got it.
So,
and I see her going ham. She is going ham on her phone. I'm like, why the fuck? Who the fuck is she texting? But she's in her notes, and I'm like, well, her notes is big as hell, so you can't miss it. She's got like 66 size font, and I'm like, I just look over it. And I'm like, You do know like Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart were like really good friends, and Jeff Jarrett was with Owen Hart when he passed away, and that's what that 14-minute promo video that he did about a couple weeks ago was about. So this makes perfect sense. She's like, "Oh, I'm glad you told me that."
And my next set of notes was, I have to take everything back I said about him. So hopefully y'all found that interesting, because like I said, I was going ham. I never even read these notes again. So this I'm reading it live for the first time. And I was
How do you feel
livid.
about yourself now that you read it out loud?
Just like how I felt on Wednesday prior to you smarting me up. I'm like, this mofo is 56 years old. Like, stop this right now. This is not allowed anymore. But then when I found out the situation, I'm like, dang, shame on me. Not cool. No bueno.
So we got 2 matches officially announced for All In. It's going to be interesting to see when Garcia does come back. I know there were some people who thought the Garcia destruction last week was because he signed with WWE. I don't think that's happening. I think he's signing, or he has signed with AEW for a multi-year deal. I think that's happening. But yeah, so all roads lead to that. And also, so all roads lead to Blood and Guts too. But there's always that funky spot when they are promoting 2 shows at once.
Blood and Guts is like soon, right? That's before All In, All Out, right? Mm-hmm. It's the summertime. I felt like, okay. So that's coming up soon.
It is. I guess last thing I have is, we got SmackDown Friday. What do they need to do for you to really buy into Solo having a chance to beat Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam?
They don't have to do anything, because it's still the numbers game. So, and again, I've already said this Bloodline storyline, even when it was like just at a standstill, I'm still going to just allow them to do it. And I'm going to just sit back and just be quiet and watch what the product is. But he's going to always have the numbers game. So Solo doesn't really have to do anything in particular for me to think that he's going to beat Cody. He's not going to beat Cody, is my thoughts on that. But to be an opponent in the match, like a worthy opponent in the match, he's going to always have Bloodline with them. So to me, they don't have to really do anything.
All right. So you're not looking for anything. Oh, there's nothing they can do. I want entertaining TV for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
But he made it publicly clear. When he brought up Roman's name, that's the story.
Yep.
So we shall see what they do on Friday. Should be interesting. That's all I got. Rhodesia, what you got? You got anything else you want to share with the people before we get out of here?
I was going to bring our newest edition of the TTT, the Terry Tall Tales, but I'm going to just pass on that for right now, just because there's so much he say, she say going on, and with Terry Bollea and
you talking about him finding the black girl, allegedly, and then they said that wasn't true, which of course they would say that, right? And I'm like, yeah, so I don't know if any of it's true. So even if you did bring it up, I would have been like, I don't know if it's true, so it's not much for me to say on it, but yeah.
And plus, I just don't even feel like talking about Terry. I don't want to give him any amount of time. I'll leave on this. This is was an epiphany for the little bit that I got to watch on Dynamite today. AEW has their new tagline. So when they're back in catering and they get the board and where they're at on the card and blah, 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 their little lottery that they do, you know how you bet on certain things, is who's going to use the word bitch better. Because if you go and you listen to all of these promos between the battles going back and forth, someone has to drop a bitch, and it's usually the last word in that sentence, and then the crowd will be like, oh. So that is their buzzword, who can say bitch the best on the show. Now,
that's a hard line. Somebody's got to drop a bitch. That could be like Nyla Rose if she ever got TV time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know she
ever got TV time. That could be one of her lines. So
but when you watch Dynamite, just like how we used to get Moxley blood every week, you're gonna get a few bitches every week.
Oh, you're definitely gonna get a bitch.
On purpose.
It is shit from 2022. every male
Yeah.
who cut a promo had to say shit somewhere in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
So the new buzzword
it's the cuss word.
is
It's the cuss
bitch.
word of the year, of the day,
Yeah.
however you want to look at it.
And that's it.
All right, y'all. That's it then. We out. What else do I need to do? I need to tell you to follow us on Twitter. That's FNW.
Yes.
I need to tell you to watch us and follow us on YouTube. Search That's Freaking Wrestling. We are also on Instagram. I said it earlier today. We love you guys, but we want more reviews, damn it. And we had a good review. We appreciate that. So we've gotten 2 reviews now.
Knight Rider or whatever his name
in the
is.
last, I think, 30 days. We should be getting reviews like every damn week. You know what I'm saying? Tell us how great we are. Put us over. Oh, and if you don't like us, you can tell us we suck too. I don't care about that. Because we're starting to get some of that now too. Not from the podcast, but like tweets and such. And now
really?
look, and they have like 6 followers. It's like, oh, got it. You just want the attention.
I don't have a lot of followers.
Stop doing that. I remember you get some more.
Actually, though, that might actually be the reason why I
You know what? Actually, you're going to wake up and you're going to have hundreds more. You'll be like, oh, they like that arm. I'm going to go ahead and give them that arm. I'm going to go ahead and give you that arm. You know what I mean?
I could probably get
I
an
got it
OnlyFans
now.
page of just that. Am I still, what they call it? What's it called? The still pick on the
profile?
It's not called an icon. No, not the icon. Like when the thumbnail. The thumbnail image is going to be like this.
Okay. Oh, yo. On that note, we have to go. If you don't know, I'm not even going to tell you. You know what? Skip the YouTube video this week.
No,
there's nothing to watch.
You got to cut and paste what I just
There's
did.
nothing to
for
watch.
A few more seconds.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Please respect. We just talked about side pieces and you come out here looking like that. Don't do that.
Bet your side
don't
piece
do that. You damn right she's not. And we out of here. We'll see y'all.
Bitch.
We'll see y'all on Sunday. He'll be back. I hope, maybe. Actually, you know, like if he does not come back, you got us again. But I think he's scheduled to be back. So if he doesn't
have a heat stroke, as long as he doesn't have a heat stroke. Go out
there. Make sure you are properly hydrated. Make sure you're drinking your tea out there. Make sure the kids have suntan lotion on. Make sure you're doing the proper professional thing out there, sir. Okay.
Oh, and real quick, we got to shout out Ethan, his kid, because he wanted to come on the show and talk about John Cena and put him on.
No, he didn't want to come on the show.
Oh.
He didn't want to come on the show. He asked had we talked about John Cena yet? And so what he said was, Ethan asked, did we talk about Cena retiring yet? And I said, yes, son. I said, I couldn't care less, son. I said, tell Ethan whenever he's ready to be on the show, I want to personally ask him a question about John Cena's career. And E's response was just no. I was like legit. I wanted to ask him. I thought that'd be cool for him. I think E's just worried that Ethan's gonna be more entertaining than him on the podcast, and then we ask Ethan to be on the pod every single week. You're not fooling
Katrina.
me.
I'll call Katrina then and say, hey, Katrina, put Ethan on the phone for us. Yeah.
I know how you get down. You stunt people's growth to make sure that you get put over. We out of here for real this time. We'll see y'all later. Appreciate y'all. Peace.